Are you alright? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Murderer had a key to the altar room. Yes. Ritual was a cover, yeah. Fabio was killed in a ritual murder, no. Ritual was staged, it was a cover for the true motive of murder. Okay. So we now have to ask about the murder and the murderer's key. So we'll ask you.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
Let's ask about keys.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
Okay, well, I will go and ask him then. Man wears a mask with golden stars and is nervous. You were nervous.
I need a rest from my insatiable wife.
Okay, maybe you weren't.
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
No.
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
Who had access to the altar?
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
Where can I find these others?
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on? Please, filth. You're under arrest.
Oh dear. Maybe I should have helped the police more. Was some of them just attacking with paint? what is going on. Okay, that's me. What?
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in his letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig. Ah, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
You knew my mother?
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
You must help me know. Perhaps we can negotiate.
Perhaps we can negotiate. I could be quite useful.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper.
Oh.
Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Hey!
Let's make a start then, partner.
They seem to assume that I've done the side things.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
Oh, I've got everything from here. Okay. Yeah, this is, I don't think that's relevant, but alright. Oh, but you do still get some bits and pieces here, that's good. I, Santos Pinchetti, am a witness who reports a suspicion of murder at Manchios's mansion in Gran Saray. During preparation for the social party, I heard loud noises from the closed altar room. Immediately I thought of the sacrifice of a living being overviewed by none other than Kurt Manchios. There was blood on the walls, strange symbols, and dagger in the heart. As soon as I was able to think clearly, I rushed to the police station to report my findings. The station responded to their position by sending a patrol, while the witness left the station and went home. I mean, that would be a great way to avoid kind of being caught. Is you go, oh, especially in this period when you've not got forensics, or not got as much forensics. He thinks it was Manchios. What about this one? Following a report from a witness of the satanic ritual who claimed to have found a body, the raid on the Manchios mansion was granted. It resulted in the arrest of multiple suspects and dispersal of the group in masks and robes caught in acts of gross indecency and unnatural behaviour. Surely you want to arrest everyone if you don't know anything, if you don't know who did it. The body of the victim was found lying on an altar with a knife wound in his chest. The officers identified the victim, Fabio 20, a local performer and artist. Arrested suspects, V. Vogel. V. Vogel had a letter of an insulting nature in his possession which had been written by the victim. He claims to have found the body. He's infamous for his eccentric personality. S. Holmes. I'm already reading the head. S. Holmes. So, I mean, Holmes isn't necessarily a rare name, so he wouldn't have maybe gotten that from there. Carried a murder weapon, a dagger with the victim's blood, and other items of evidence. He was invited by another suspect, V. Vogel, presumably to obstruct the official investigation. K. Manchios, the owner of the mansion and organizer of the satanic party, paid the victim to participate in the ritual, had access to the crime scene. Matista, Fabio's partner and participant in the ritual, tried to escape, resisted arrest, owned a book with a description of the ritual performed in the altar room. Some of the guests are temporarily detained for further questioning. These are sets of keys, aren't they?
Back on track to solve the case.
I thought they were keys for the area. Provider of this ticket is permission to inspect all evidence on case number 6260. Right. Vogel is held because of a letter. Pinchetti is a suspect who should be arrested and questioned. He had a key which he did not mention in his deposition. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so we'll get rid of all of those. We've used that up. I'll have to talk to Harvey. Oh.
Look, I found Werner.
Where's Mr. Harvey? Is that you, sir? Mention... Oh, no. Oh, that's Werner. Where's my policeman friend? I'll be back, Werner. I'll come back, but... Where am I? I'm really confused.
This area is restricted.
Oh, dear. Okay, we'll talk to Vogel then. And then we'll just kind of work our way around.
Werner, are you alright?
Oh, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free
You should require proof.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
No, I wouldn't lie.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
Okay, let's ask him some of these questions. Santos.
I can't follow you here.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
Okay, that's good to know.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti,
Do I know him?
the major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you.
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
Right. 5, 6. Matista. Can't look at the documents. That would be helpful.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Okay, admittedly that's true, but that's not the point. Primitive occult tattoo. Another slave brand. Bitten nails, she's nervous. Ooh. Old and healing cuts, self-inflicted. old shackle scars. Oh, neck. Oh no. Blood-filled bruises obtained recently. Matisse, the performer at Fabio's partners, has had a difficult life. She was branded and enslaved while still a child. While enslaved, she met Fabio, hence their similar branding. Matisse seems to be pragmatic about her body after years of abuse. She sells herself to the guests who do whatever they want to her. She's not afraid to step over the line. Marks her body with ink. Genuine interest in mysticism. No, I think dissociated.
You have both old and new scars. Some from the time when you were a slave with Fabio. Other scars have a different origin. The guests pay good money to torment you?
I am skilled in giving pleasure, but I don't participate in such practices.
I thought your body was...
For sale? It's true. Many unwanted things were done to my body. And the pain helped me to discover...
Occult deities? Yes, the tattoo speaks loudly of it.
Yes. Your gods abandoned me, and the ones I favor now are more protective of me.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Gordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
Where did you get those bruises?
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
Okay. Fresh bruises. Oh, that's an option. Fabio bruised Matista. Which I assume is not right. Batista was bruised by the guests, which I think seems to fit. Oh, and then that's all of that, okay. And we're in 5. Is this...
Good day, Mr. Manchios. I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers, the new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy after all.
I need to examine you first.
Let's observe then. Let's see what we can see. Rouge. Where's makeup? Red spots. Rash from exposure to hair dye. So he's rather vain. Washed hands in a hurry. Oh dear. Quality polished leather. Hides his age, which we know, which I think is better for stickler for cleanliness. Is extremely rich, eccentric, and frivolous. He is the organizer of the parties for Gordona's elite, the owner of the Manchios mansion. He spends his life in the company of similarly overprivileged people. However, Mr. Manchios wishes to hide his true age from the younger participants of his parties. He's concerned with aging to the point where he uses makeup and hair dye to look younger, which isn't great for him. And cleanliness isn't going to... He uses chemicals and hair dye to clean and improve himself. No, hides age, I think.